Hello children, welcome to English class. Today we are going to revise the grammar part which is given in the unit 1. So parts of speech, adjectives, adverbs, possessive nouns and the singular and plural nouns. So first let us know about the parts of speech. So we all know the most important and common parts of speech are of four things, that is of noun, verb, pronoun and adjective. So let us know about this. The parts of speech indicates how a word is used in a sentence. For example, noun, verbs, pronouns and adjectives are four common parts of speech. So here they perform different functions in a sentence. Let us look at them with the help of an example. So here is an example given for you. Arif found his lost pen. So we all know that the name of a person, a place, an animal, and an idea or a feeling of it. So we all know that noun denotes the particular place, a person, animals, idea, and it's followed by feelings, isn't it? So here Arif is a noun, it's a name of a person. So in other words, we'll tell it as it is a proper noun. So here Arif is a proper noun as it is the name of a pen, name of a person, and you can see the pen here, it is a thing. So it is also mentioned as noun. So pen is the name of a thing. So here Arif comes under proper noun, that is a name of a person, and pen, it's a thing. So here we can see two nouns which is followed in this sentence. Then next is of pronoun. So here you can see Arif found his lost pen. Because he is a boy, so it was given as his. If it is girl name given here, so we'll tell it as her. So his and her denotes that it was a pronoun. So here a word that takes the place of a noun. So here the particular word his takes the place of a noun here. So what is the noun? Arif is a noun here. So his is a pronoun as it replaces the noun Arif. Then we all know about verb. Verb is of action words. So what are the actions done by the person or animal or whatever else? So that we'll tell it as verb. A word that shows an action. So here in the sentence found. So what is he doing? He lost his pen and he was searching for the pen. So at last he found that pen. So what was the action done by Arif? He found his lost pen. So here found is the action that was done by Arif. Then the next one is of the parts of speech is of adjective. A word that describes a noun or a pronoun. So here lost describes the condition of a pen. So here the adjective tells us what do you mean by the noun? The pen. So what it is describes about, it was a lost pen. So here a word that describes a noun or a pronoun, will tell it as that is the adjective. So these are the parts of speech we have followed to learn in this lesson. The next content is of we are going to see about singular and plural nouns. So we all know if the thing was in one, you will tell it as singular, and if it is more than one, we'll tell it as plural, isn't it? So there are two noun forms. What are they? Singular and plural. Then the noun have different forms. The form of a noun tells us something about it. A singular noun shows that there is one person, animal, thing, place or idea. A plural noun shows that there are more than one person, animal, thing, place or idea. So by this picture itself you may come to know which is singular and which is plural. So here the boy has only one dog and here the girl has so many dogs. So from this picture we come to know what is singular and plural. So now the next thing we are going to follow is of the rules to change a noun from singular to plural. So here are some rules to follow how to make the singular noun into plural noun. So the first rule is of, for most of the nouns we add the letter S to the end of the word to make them plural. So here you can see just the noun has been given for you. So when we change the plural into plural, we'll just add S to it. Television, televisions, broom, brooms, studio, studios. So in the second rule, if the noun ends with the letter CH or SH or X or O after a consonant, we add east at the end of the es at the end of the word. So here comes a doubt for you. So here in the previous rule, you can see the last letter is of O, isn't it? So here what they are saying, so just we added yes to it for the plural noun, isn't it? But here they are saying if the noun ends with ch, sh or x or o, we need to add es to it. So what is the difference between this? So here you need to add es, right? Then why they have given yes alone? There is a rule to follow. So here what they have given, after the word letter ch, sh and x or o, after a consonant, if it comes after a consonant, we add es to the end of the word. So here you can see watch. So before ch, sorry. So here you can see the last letter is of O, isn't it? So before that G is given. Is that vowel? Is that G is a vowel? No, it's a consonant. We all know that A, E, I, O, U are vowels, isn't it? So here you can see before O, I is given. So here it comes as vowel. So we can add just yes to it. But if the word ends with O, after a consonant, we need to add es to it. I think now you are clear with it. Watch, watches. Clash, clashes. Mango, mangoes. Box, boxes. The next rule is of if the noun ends with the letter Y after a consonant, we replace the Y with IES at the end of the word. So you can see if the family, fairy, cherry is given, so the last word is of Y. So you need to replace that. Instead of Y, we need to add IES to it. So family, families, fairy, fairies, cherry, cherries. Then the next rule is of if the noun ends with the letter F, we replace the F with VES at the end of the word. Shelf, calf, half. So here you can see it was replaced. Now you have to take it out the F. Instead of that we have add VES to it. So shelf, shelves, calf, calves, half, halves. Then irregular nouns are nouns that do not follow any rule. We need to read and memorize them. So these are the regular words, verbs that we changed. Regular nouns we have changed. But here irregular nouns won't change any rule and it won't follow any rules. We need to just read and memorize it. So women, women, food, feet, child, children, person, people. So there are so many nouns like food, feet, tooth, teeth, goose, geese, mouse, mice. So that it goes on. So just you need to learn and you have to memorize it. So these are the 5 rules that we need to follow in the nouns to change the singular into plural. Then the next thing we are going to learn about possessive nouns. So we all know that possessive means it owns something about that particular person, right? So here a possessive noun shows who or what owns something. So it makes the sentence crisper and easier to understand by reducing the number of words used to show possession. For example, most of the nouns we add an apostrophe and the letter S to it to make the possessive noun. So here is an example sentence given for you. This pen belongs to Arif. So this is Arif's pen. You can see the difference of these two sentences. The second sentence give more crisper and it is very easy to understand, isn't it? So here comes Arif shows that this because that pen is the Arif's pen. So we'll tell it as possessive noun because the pen was owned by Arif. So here you can know that Arif is a proper noun. So if a particular person is given a specific name, so it is a proper noun. So Arif is a proper noun. After adding an apostrophe, you all know the symbol of apostrophe and the letter S to it, it becomes a possessive noun. So here you can see the noun, the proper noun which adds apostrophe S will know that it was a possessive noun. So here are some rules to follow, that is of rule 1, 2, 3 and 4. Just we'll go through it and we'll implement that while you're writing. So rule number 1, for singular nouns we add an apostrophe and the letter S. So here is an example. So for singular noun, the bag lying on the floor is Kavya. So how many Kavyas are there? Only one. So here it is given in singular form. So we'll just add apostrophe to it and we'll just add s to it. So my car tires are worn out. So here you can see that it was in singular noun. So we are just adding apostrophe plus s there. And in the rule number 2, for for plural nouns not ending with the letter s, irregular nouns, we add an apostrophe and an yes to it. For example, children is in plural, women is in plural. So we'll just add apostrophe and yes to it and we'll fulfill the sentence here. And the third rule is for plural nouns ending with the letter yes. So if the plural noun ends with the already given in the question, if it ends with the yes, we'll just add an apostrophe after the yes alone. So in the sentence it may give like this: these two girls' trophy is golden in color. So if it is given like this, already yes is given there. So no need to add that yes. Instead of adding yes, we'll just put the apostrophe symbol there so that the sentence will get fulfilled. So it is the doctor's duties. Already yes is added there. So just we need to add the apostrophe there. Then rule number 4 is when something belongs to two different nouns. For example, you can see here two different nouns are there. Grandmother, mother, Rahim and Tia. So you can see two different nouns. So that what you have to do is you have to add apostrophe plus yes to the second noun. So my grandmother and mother's house is on sale. Rahim and Tia's project won an award. So these are the two examples that we can see for the two nouns which was carried by apostrophe and yes. The next thing we are going to learn about is adjectives. So we all know what do you mean by adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe a noun or pronoun. So let us understand the two types of adjectives. We all know what are the two types of adjectives: factual adjective and opinion adjective. So factual means it's a true fact which was happened related to the color, shape or size or origin or age or quantity, isn't it? So they remain the same irrespective of what the reader thinks. But opinion is of each one have its own opinion, isn't it? So it tells us opinion about the noun. So noun means a person or whatever else. So they describe what one thinks about something or someone. So these two are the difference between the factual and opinion adjectives. So here you can see with the example, this is a multicolor bag. It has two zippers. So these are facts. But here let us see about the opinion adjectives, that is of I think. So when you see the word think, it's tell that it is a person's opinion, isn't it? So I think the bag is very bright and colorful. It is pretty. And these are my opinion. So some may like its color and some may won't like its color. So there is the opinion differs from people to people, isn't it? From a person to person. The next thing is you'll see about the degrees of comparison in adjectives. So here adjectives change their form or degrees to help us compare one thing with another. So the 3 degrees are positive, comparative and superlative. What are they? So we all know that positive means it remains the same. So for example, the adjective describes the noun in a sentence. This is the basic form of an adjective and it is not compared with any other thing. So the positive things will be there like it. Then comparative adjective means when we see the comparative adjective means it will be compared with two things. So here the adjectives compares two nouns. So what we'll do, what is the rule we need to apply there? We use the suffix er or we add more before the adjective in the comparative form. So here is an example given for you. So while we are seeing the rules, you can understand about for what we need to add er and for what we had to add this more. We'll see it later. Then the next thing is of superlative adjective. So here when you saw the word superlative means it will be described among 3 or more things. So this adjective compares 3 or more nouns. So we use the suffix est or add most before the adjective in the superlative form. So with this, we have to learn these rules. So rule 1 is for regular adjectives, we need to add er or est. So these are the regular adjectives. For example, tall, clean, bright. It was given in the positive. But when we compare the things with the noun, you will be adding er to it. That is of taller, cleaner, brighter. So when we change that positive into superlative, what we'll do? We'll just add est to it. Tallest, cleanest, brightest. Then rule 2 is of if an adjective ends in e with the letter e. So you can see all the letters, all the adjectives are ending with the letter e. So here while we change it into comparative, we need to just add r to it. Braver, safer, nicer. So when we change it into superlative, we need to add just est to it. That is of bravest, safest, nicest, like that. Then rule 3 is of if an adjective has a CVC rule. That is of already I told you. Consonant, vowel, consonant rule. So we need to double the last letter and we need to add ER or EST to it. So let us see that HOT. So H stands for consonant, we all know. And O stands for vowel. And here T stands for consonant. So here it was applied as CVC rule. So when you see the CVC rule, you have to add one more last letter to it and we need to add just ER to it. And same thing in superlative also we need to follow the same rule, that is of last letter will be repeated again and we have to follow with the EST. So hot, hotter, hottest. Big, bigger, biggest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. So the next rule is of if an adjective ends in y, remove the y and then add IER or IEST. So you have to check it. The last letter ends with the y. So funny, crazy, pretty. So when you change this, you need to take it off that y. Instead of y, you have to place IER in it. So funny, funnier, and same you have to follow, but you have to add EST for the superlative. So funny, funnier, funniest. Crazy, crazier, craziest. Pretty, prettier, prettiest. The next rule is of the degree of some adjectives can be changed by adding more or most before them. So these are the some adjectives we can't change it as for example beautiful. You can't change into compare. When you are changed into comparative, you can't write it as beautifuler, beautifulest, isn't it? It's not a particular correct English word. So here it may change, some adjective it has to change by adding more to the comparative and most to the superlative. So delegate, more delegate, most delegate. Delicious, more delicious, most delicious. Creative, more creative and most creative. Then the last rule is of the irregular adjectives do not follow any rules. We must need to remember them as we saw in the previous thing. No, same thing. The irregular adjective will not be added ER or EST. Just we have to change that particular adjective. For example, bad, worse, worst. Good, better, best. Less, lesser, least. Far, further, furthest. So these are the rules you need to follow in adjectives. So we learnt about two things, that is of two types of adjectives. What are they? Factual and opinion. And we learnt about degrees of comparison in adjectives, that are of positive, comparative and superlative. The next topic we are going to learn is about adverbs. So here an adverb is a part of speech. Already we have told you, but in unit 1 we have learned only 4 forms of parts of speech, isn't it? So another form of parts of speech is of adjective. So here it's an adjective is a adverb. An adverb is a part of speech word that describes a verb, an adjective or another verb. So you can see here an adverbs tells us how often, when, where and how much. So these are the examples. How it happens? It happened quickly, slowly, easily, quickly, quietly. Then how often it takes place? Always, sometimes, usually, rarely. Then when it happens? Now, then, soon, already, yesterday, today. It goes on. And where it happens? Nearby, away, here, there, market, park. It goes on. Then how much? Very deep, deeply, enough, fully. So these are the thing which it will explain the adverb. And you can see that forming adverbs from adjectives. So here you can see the adjective that forms the adverb here. Certain adverbs are formed by adding ly to the adjectives. So you can see the adjectives that followed by the adverb here. Careful, carefully, ly is added. Generous, generously, ly is added. Sharp, sharply. Thankful, thankfully. Beautiful, beautifully. Anxious, anxiously. Eager, eagerly. Loud, loudly. Normal, normally. Separate, separately. Quick, quickly. Proud, proudly. So here we learnt about the parts of speech, adjectives, adverbs, singular and plural, that is of plural forms, possessive nouns. So everything we revised today. Just I'll post the homework in the which is given in the practice question 13. Do it and send it to me. So just you can write only the answers for the following questions, such as you can see the adjectives which was changed into adverbs, and you can check it out all the adjectives. So instead of this adjective, how to change the adverbs, you have to write all the adverbs here. Just write the question number with the letters here, and you can write only the answer. So the second thing is of underline the word that represents the given parts of speech. So here what can you do is of you can mention the verb, means you have to pick out the verb. Adjective means you have to pick out the adjective, adverb. So like that you have to pick out the particular parts of speech from the sentence, and you have to write the answer for that. In this sentence alone, you have to write it in the full sentence, that is of rewrite the following sentences using possessive nouns in your notebook. So what you have to do, you have to rewrite the sentence by using the possessive nouns. So you have to make it as a sentence. Then the next is of filling the blanks. The clues have been given for you, so just write the answer for these two things. So this is the homework. I'm going to post it out, and I'll be posting this passage about the dogs as pets, and kindly read this passage and answer the question given below. Kindly do this 2 pages in the homework site. Thank you, dear children.